Episode 9, Day 7 takes us from Betoota to Birdsville. Departing from the iconic Betoota Hotel, with plenty of stops along the way, including a stopover at another great Aussie pub, the Birdsville Hotel. From there I make my way to the edge of the Simpson Desert and visit one of its most iconic of its 1100 parallel sand dunes, Big Red, where my new mate Tom and I tackle Little Red and then Big Red. And all in a good day's ride. Friday morning, leaving Betoota pub. Well, it's an early start to the day and everybody's packing up, ready to leave for their new destination. And it was a big night last night at the Betoota pub. And as I roll out, I wave goodbye to some great people that I met last night. Some of them will be headed in the same direction and have also kindly offered to keep an eye out for me in case I run into trouble along the way. And Tom, who I met yesterday, is going to come all the way out to Big Red with me, as he doesn't want to go out there on his own either. And so, with 168 kilometres to go to Birdsville and not much in between, it's nice knowing that people have got your back. Alright, 161 to Birdsville. Had a pretty good night last night at the Betoota pub. Met some good people, and so young Tommy's following me out in his four-wheel drive, so at least I feel a bit more secure. He's going out to Big Red today as well, so got to find somewhere to stay. Not far up the road, I decide to pull over because something has caught my attention. Check out that snake on the hill there. Gotta get a photo of that. It's an Aboriginal sculpture of the Dreamtime serpent, which represents the river systems in this area. Alright, better get going. It's pretty cool though, look at that. I think out here there'd be nothing to see, but there's all sorts of interesting things. Look at that, it goes right around that hill. Pretty cool. And I make a mental note to stop there on the way back, but I'm in a bit of a hurry today and I've got Tom coming up not far behind me in his Hilux. So I've got to get cracking. The views out here are amazing and they just go on forever. Just look at that. And that sign's showing that I'm only 26 kilometres from the South Australian border. And 117 to Birdsville. Getting closer. As I come over the next hill and look to the right, I spot another mob of brumbies. We've got some brumbies over there. That's the third mob I've seen now on this trip. I'd really like to get a closer look, but they're so far away and who knows what's out there. I can't really risk it, and I've got Tom not far behind me, and I also don't want to take the risk of getting cleaned up by another vehicle coming over the crest.
Could turn around, I suppose, not very safe here. There's a herd of brumbies in the distance.
Well, I better get a move on. I've got too far to go and too much to do today. And not far up the road is the next rest stop. And this one looks like it's got its own communications tower. Let's hope I can get phone coverage. Even though I was able to use Tom's satellite phone at Betoota, I'd like to get a message out to my wife just to let her know that I'm okay.
Stop for a quick break. See if I've got some phone reception. There's a tower there, so I'm hoping I can, because I didn't have any out at Betoota, so. Alright, going again. Got Tom coming up behind me soon in his Hilux.
That contrast between the red sand and the blue sky is simply stunning, and every now and again it turns to green. Ever-changing scenery and ever-changing road surfaces. And in some places the road is quite corrugated and it's shaken the hell out of my bike. Another cool feature of this landscape are sandhill crests. Basically sand dunes with the road dissecting each one. Another interesting feature you'll find out here is on the road itself. Every now and again you come across an emergency airstrip, and that's for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. And there are signs warning you not to stop. Wouldn't you just crap yourself if you saw a large shadow appear overhead? You realise how isolated it is out here when this is the first car that you've seen all day. Every now and again, you get a stark reminder of how harsh and unforgiving this landscape can be. And it's not long after I crest this final hill that our destination comes into view. Birdsville. Off to my right is where they hold the famous Birdsville races.
I'll get a photo in front of that, I reckon.
Well, I've come this far, you never ever miss a great photo opportunity. Especially if I can get my bike in front of it.
Alright. We made it.
As you roll into Birdsville before you hit the Diamantina River, you'll see the Birken Wills tree. It is said to mark one of their final campsites before they reach the Inaminka area, where the famous dig tree stands. The Diamantina River is looking a little mudded up today. I've never been to Birdsville before, so I'm not sure what to expect. But I think I'll start with a quick tour of the township, and then I'll have to find somewhere to stay for the night. As I roll down the main street, on the left is the ruins of the old Royal Hotel, built in 1883, the same year as the Birdsville Hotel. And it's not long before I pass the famous Birdsville Hotel on my right, which is situated next to the airport. What I'm really looking for is the Birdsville Bakery, and I think it's down this way. Apparently, they sell camel pies. And it's said, when you come to Birdsville, you've got to try one. I'm not sure about that though. There's a sign on the door saying closed due to COVID.
And she's closed, so I won't be getting any camel pies. Oh well.
Looks like I'm off the hook. Gee, that's disappointing. So with that said, I think it's time to find somewhere to stay for the night. And the Birdsville Hotel is always an option, but I think I'm going to go and try the caravan park first. I definitely won't be staying at the Royal Hotel. That's looking a bit worse for wear. Okay, so that's where the servo is, and just in front of me is the caravan park. Hopefully they've got some space for me. Yeah, nah. Oh well, I'll go try the Birdsville Hotel instead. As luck would have it, there was one room left, and I think it's a much better option. And it's within crawling distance of the pub.
Number 10 Downing Street.
The accommodation at the Birdsville Hotel is probably the best that I've stayed at on this entire trip. It's got decent sized rooms with comfy beds, self-contained, so you can do some cooking. It's right across from the airport and the pub. What more could you ask for? So this is the part of the day that I've been waiting for. Tom and I finally meet up and we're heading out to Big Red.
Do you know which way we're going? Yeah, I'll follow you. Oh yeah, I suppose. So just follow this road and we follow your nose, yeah? Okay. I just want to soften my rear suspension because I had it all packed up and felt like it was hitting me up the arse. Eh?
The bike's much lighter without luggage, so just a few clicks to soften the preload and we should be right.
Try that. Alright, awesome.
As we roll out of Birdsville, I've got to be honest, I've got a little bit of apprehension and a few butterflies in my stomach. But I'm also excited about where we're going. And it's only 38 kilometres to Big Red Sand Dune. There's a few roadworks going on, and it's not long before the tar turns to sand and gravel. Riding the bike at these speeds, it becomes instantly apparent how light it feels without all that weight of the extra luggage that I was carrying. The bike feels nimble and so much easier to control, which is just as well because there's a few muddy patches to avoid along the way. But I tell you what, I really am enjoying this road surface, and it's ever changing from tar through to gravel, and I guess one day it'll be tar all the way, and that'd be a shame. They had some decent rains out here a couple of weeks ago, and there's still some evidence of that laying around. And as we crest the next hill, the thing that I've been waiting for this entire trip, the thing that's been on my bucket list for so long, comes into sight.
Oh, there it is.
Big Red.
Yeehaw!
And all of a sudden, the track that was nice and smooth becomes bumpy and corrugated. And up ahead is a freaked out baby calf just to keep me on my toes. On the bucket list for most Australian adventure riders, Big Red marks the start of the Simpson Desert from the Queensland side, and it's one of 1,100 parallel sand dunes. And this sign is a reminder that we're visiting an ancient landscape, and it must be treated with respect.
Can do Little Red as well?
Hey?
Can do Little Red as well?
Oh, you must do them all, hey?
Might as well. Hey, have you got UHF radio?
Yeah.
What channel?
Just scan.
Hey, scan.
Scan to pick up everyone, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I've got a UHF there. I just thought I'll switch onto a channel if you like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that way I'll keep in touch with you in case I freaking.
Yeah. I think you go up this way and then around and do Big Red from that way. They
Yeah.
say west to east is easier.
Yeah, okay.
And so, once we'd worked out our plan of attack, it was time for Tom to let down his tyre pressures on the Hilux. But as for the GS, I'll be leaving them at road pressures. This was following some advice we got off some experts. Firstly, Rod Faggoter, who has his own shop in Longreach, ex-factory Dakar rider, who said to run road pressures to account for the rocks, and our tyres were wide enough on these GSs anyway. That same night, Paul and I sat in on a Zoom meeting by Daryl Beattie, ex-500cc Grand Prix racer, who now runs his own adventure company, Daryl Beattie Adventures. His advice was also to run road pressures, which he does on his CRF 450s and Africa Twins. But crucially, Daryl also had a Michelin engineer come on the show who explained that running road pressures maintains tyre integrity and also protects the rims. So it's not hard to conclude that I'd be foolish not to follow the advice of these experts in their fields, and champions at that. And so, a massive shout out to these guys and a big thanks for enabling me to have a trouble-free run in the dunes.
Right, here we go. Alright, Little Red. Hey? Yeah, I'll go. And then I'll see you up there.
And so this is an absolute first for me, riding sand dunes. All I can do is rely on the little ability that I have at riding sand and the advice that I've been given by others. I guess I'll just have to suck it and see. So here we go, fingers crossed. I think I'll just have to pin it and try not to bill it. And as I quickly find out, momentum is the key. And as I roll off the gas a little, I can feel the rear wheel right up on top of the sand, and it's not digging itself in so much, making the bike much easier to control. And then the realization sets in. We did it.
Yahoo! Woo! That was awesome. She's good. Bit soft down there. That was freaking awesome fun. I slowed down right where it was real deep there and tried to turn around, and then it started sinking in. I'm going, oh no. Yeah. This would be a good place to get some photos, eh? How good's that?
Looking to the east from where we've come, to the west out into the Simpson Desert, even the view from Little Red is impressive. I think it's time to launch the drone and get a bird's eye view.
Cool. See if I can get down now.
And now we're headed down the other side of Little Red to go and tackle Big Red from the western side.
not as easy getting down. Whoa.
As I watch Tom's Hilux disappear off into the distance, I know it's time to get going. I'm just going to have to find the best way down I can. As you can see, the track's pretty chopped up from recent rains and recent traffic. But it's 10 times easier than riding in the sand.
Alright, big rig in the distance. Hopefully we're taking the easy side. See how we go.
Riding the track from Little Red to Big Red is quite a challenge, but it's certainly a lot of fun. And it's probably a good warm-up to settle your nerves for what's coming up ahead.
Here too. Oh, she's getting sandy, alright. Come on.
And finally, we find ourselves arriving at the western side of Big Red Sand Dune, ready to make our run. And Tom's about to have a crack at it first up.
Well, here goes Tom. Go son. You! Oh, so close. I reckon that qualifies.
Tom just about makes it to the top, but decides to reverse all the way down and have another crack.
Slow down that too early.
So close. Yeah. Right.
Go the other side, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Only getting too fast.
You get a bigger run, maybe. Yep. Alright, take two.
And he's carrying a bit more speed this time. Let's see if he can make it.
I reckon he's up. He's up, look at that. Well done. Good job.
Let's take another look at that run, but from the GoPro this time.
He's up. He's up, look at that. Well done. Good job. Good job. Well done, good job.
That was a bit better.
Yeah. We got it on film, so you've done it for real.
Your mates all believe me now.
Yeah, your mates will believe you.
Which track were you going to go? Because it's just like a bit of a lip up here for about 2 or 3 metres, and then it sort of just drops back down pretty steep.
I was going to go on that one behind you. Is that too steep there?
Which one is it? I'll drop back up to it.
Yeah, just approaching it now. You're pretty much in line with it there.
Doesn't look like anyone's gone over it.
What's the sand like up there? Is it compact like the other end?
Are you going to come up on it?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Just where I am here, like I'm almost at I'm probably half a metre down from the top, so it sort of just goes a little drop off. It's not a drop off, just a hill, but and then there's heaps of room behind me. That's like 50 metres of flat sand.
Yeah, I'll go that one.
Right, I'll move out of your way and get you coming up on camera.
Righto, now it's my turn.
Alright, big red this time. Now our Evel Knievel fields.
And now it's just a matter of finding the best track to get me to the top. I reckon whichever way I decide to go, I'm going to have to pick my line carefully. All the tracks are pretty rutted out from four-wheel drives, with the GS having a boxer engine, and the cylinders on this bike will surely get stuck and I'll get bogged. This might be the one, I think. Just to give you some perspective of the size of it, you can just see Tom, a little speck, on the top of that dune. And the track where he's standing looks a little rutted to me. But I can see a track going up the left-hand side that a motorbike's used before. I think I might give that a crack. Alright, it's now or never. Bugger, not quite enough momentum. Here's what it looked like from Tom's point of view.
Mate, that's going to be hard. I reckon if I went in there I would have got stuck for sure. That's deep, hey? That's deep. Hey? I was looking at that one, it looked real steep. But even here, like as I was coming up, she's steep bit there though too, hey? So that one that you came up, that wasn't as steep, was it?
Nah, it just come around.
Hooks around.
Yeah. That was pretty easy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. I gotta get this fucker down somehow.
With a bit of help from Tom, I get this beach whale out of the sand and start to make my way back down the hill. You can see how deep the ruts are on the left hand side there.
And now, let's make my own track. Hey baby! Alright, try again.
Well, that was one attempt.
That's fucking exhausting. I actually go and walk it.
So I've decided the safest thing to do is to probably get off the bike and go and walk it and see which is the best way up.
Alright, second attempt. I'm going to try another track. Looks a bit easier. Might sound like a pussy, but I don't want to kill myself. Alright.
So my objective for today is to get up on top of Big Red without breaking any bones or breaking any bikes. I've been there, done that before, and it's not much fun. And the GS is not the lightest bike in the world for this sort of riding.
Okay, wait there. Right, mate.
So let's go, second time lucky. Now check out that view.
That's a cheating way, but hey, sort of. I just couldn't get up over that lift.
Here's a replay from Tom's iPhone.
Hey? Bit steep, is it?
The sand is quite soft here, and I'm not sure whether the bike is going to hold itself up in this wind.
Hey? Yeah, sort of a bit of a cheating way. I looked at it and thought, oh, I reckon I have the same problem on that one. Yeah. I don't think I would have been able to, I would have got hooked into those tracks. And
But I tell you what, I reckon the view is better from up here anyway.
Yeah. Hope my bike can stand up.
And just so the bike doesn't fall over, how is this for some technique? You can borrow this one if you want, but whatever works for you.
Maybe. If I don't breathe on it.
It's a bit steeper going up that one, isn't it?
Hey?
A bit steeper going up.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have hurt. I was thinking about it. Oh, that's the road, eh?
Wow, it was lucky I didn't keep going over that crest. As I look behind me, over my shoulder, out at the Simpson Desert, I remind myself of how far we've come and what we've achieved today. The view from up here is amazing. And it's something I'll never forget as long as I live.
Yeah.
But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down.
I don't know whether I can get up there to get down there, so the other option I got is to go back down, go around and go over Little Red.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's exactly what I did.
Alright. Come back down.
I'm nearly 2,000 kilometres from home, and I didn't want to risk cartwheeling the bike down the other side of the dune and breaking something. Best to play it safe sometimes.
Got up on the second attempt anyway. So I gotta go around because I can't go over that. So anyway. Got to the top but didn't get over. Wonder if that counts. Anyway, I'm happy. Came what I set out to do. That's to come out to Birdsville, do Big Red and Little Red. Done and dusted. Well, gotta get over Little Red again.
But I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I did achieve what I set out to do, and that was to get this bike, this big heavy 250 kilo machine with a 19-inch front wheel, up on top of Big Red. Got to be happy with that. Riding out here in the afternoon with the sun about to set really makes you appreciate the beauty of the Simpson Desert. And it's not just the contrasting colours. I think the vastness of this country really makes it something special.
Trust me to go the wrong way.
Then finally I find myself arriving back at the bottom of Little Red.
Alright. I don't know if it's the best way to go, but
It's a bit hard to choose a line from this distance, but I think the best way to go is the same as before. Pin it and try not to bin it.
here we go. Yay, we did it!
The feeling that I had as I came over the top of Little Red was that of utter elation, and so pumped with adrenaline. You can't buy that drug. You gotta earn it. And so we made it, unscathed and intact, and much richer for the experience. And I'm happy to say I didn't drop the bike once. Way above expectations. And as I arrive at the bottom of Little Red, so does Tom. That was good timing.
Awesome! Yeah, just smashed it. Yeah, it was good. I was shitting myself, but yeah. Have you done your tyres? Or? Alright, you gonna do it? Alright, Big Red done and dusted. You beauty. Thanks to my new mate Tom. Oh, that's a relief. That's just good to get over. I was freaking worried about that one.
With the sun setting fast behind Big Red, it was time for Tom to restore the tyre pressures on the Hilux. And after that, a nice cold beer. Thanks again to Tom for that one. And it wasn't until we looked around that we noticed something up in the tree. Up in that little tree, it's a baby budgerigar. You see it? Just in the middle of the shot. Pretty cool. The things you find in the outback are truly amazing. I never thought I'd see a wild budgerigar.
Well, what can I say? What can I say about this bike? Pretty bloody happy. So I've had it for 10 years. He's done nearly 200,000 Ks, 192 or something I think. And just been across Queensland and over Little Red and Big Red. So I'm pretty stoked with that. Awesome.
So with that all said and done, it's time to head back to the Birdsville Hotel for dinner and a few well-earned cold ones. Can't wait.
Not exactly riding into the sunset and riding away from it, but anyway, happy as a pig and shit. So we kicked its ass. Woohoo!
The sights out here never fail to disappoint, and just to my right is a couple of dancing growlers, just to top the day off. And so, as the sun sets in the west behind me and the shadows grow longer, I can't help but sit back and think what an awesome job this bike has done. It's been so reliable on this trip, like a reliable old pack horse. It's done everything I've asked of it without complaining, and it's just gone up Big Red Sand Dune. It really is the Unimog of motorcycles. I mean, look at today, it was loaded up to the max, did big Ks, and then we unloaded it when it was time to play. Its versatility and its reliability is just simply amazing. And what else that's amazing is that this is a 15-year-old bike now. And it just goes to show you don't really need the latest motorcycle to have an awesome time like this. Although I wouldn't say no if one fell in my lap. And now that I'm back, safe and sound, all I'm looking forward to now is a hot shower, a nice warm dinner, and a nice cold beer. Join us next time when I head from Birdsville to Charleville and start making my way home. But not before checking out the Royal Hotel and the Birkenwills Tree in Birdsville. With plenty of stops along the way, including stopping to check out this pissed off mulga snake. And then another quick photo opportunity before I take off towards Betoota. Where I check out a much friendlier snake, the Dreamtime Serpent at Betoota. And I couldn't go past Betoota without calling back into Betoota pub just to say g'day. It's then off to Dion's Lookout to check out the view and get a bird's eye view with the drone. From there it's a marathon ride east towards Charleville. Where on arrival, I encounter some ghostly figures by the side of the road. And all in a good day's ride. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.